Backstage with Mothership on Solid Rock Radio begins now. Hear the best in new music, artist interviews, stories from the road, and more. You are now backstage, and here's your host, Mothership.
Hey everybody, I have the guys from Adamic, and I would like them to tell us their names and what they do with the band.
My name is Ian, and I am the drummer and the singer for Adamic.
And I'm Josiah, and I play guitar and bass.
So the two of you are the band?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, in the studio, yes.
In the studio, okay. As I caught your show out, we were near Nashville a few months back, and I was really impressed with your live, and I thought, hey, I need to check these guys out further, so here we are.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
It means a lot.
And we had a surprise visitor that night. I was standing at the ticket table talking with somebody about Disciple, and then in walks Andrew Stanton. And I was like, oh. I said, which band are you with? And it was you guys. So we're going to talk all about this.
Yeah.
So first of all, I understand you guys kind of grew up together. Give me an idea of how long ago you met and how y'all became best buds.
Well, we were like 3 to 4 years old, and my grandma's house was right next to his dad's mechanic shop. And he heard me and my sister outside screaming one day and came over to see what it was about. And we've been best friends ever since. It's almost, I'd say, over 25 years now.
Yeah, we grew up together, went to school together, and then years later when we started this band, my dad, who had retired by that point, let us have the office in his shop to record in. So we got, when we started making music, we were basically making it in the same place where we had met years and years prior. So it was like a full circle moment.
So y'all really don't hardly remember not being together.
Yeah, there was really not a point in my life hardly where he's not been a presence or a factor. It's kind of wild.
That's crazy. Nobody moved. You just stayed in the same area and grew up together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lived in Linton, Indiana for our entire lives until literally last year, and we both moved to Nashville together. So, yeah, we've never been apart hardly.
So did you both like music from the beginning, or did you play instruments together? How did all the music part start?
It was sometime around 3rd or 4th grade when we started talking about music, I'm pretty sure. His brother had turned him on to Disciple and Pillar and a band called 30th Parallel. And so he started sharing those CDs with me, and when we started bonding over heavy music, I remember, running around in the front yard of a house with a stereo blasting Disciples Back Again record. That was like grade school for us. And then after that, there was a after school club at our elementary school called the Electric Orchestra. And I joined it to learn guitar and be a part of a band as a guitar. And then I begged him to join because I knew that he could play guitar because he had been taking lessons growing up. And we ended up in a band together in 6th grade, and that was our first little group together. Yeah. And we just kind of stuck side by side from there on forward when it came to music.
Yeah, we would ride our bikes around all day, and then we would stop at my house and play music for a little bit, jam on some songs, play Disciple or something. And then in high school, we had our first real band together, and then that led to this band, and it's been pretty nonstop since elementary school, really. Yeah.
What instrument was the first one each of you picked up?
Drums.
Yeah, guitar for me too. Drums. Yeah.
So from the beginning, you had a band. You had a drummer and a guitarist.
Right.
What more you need?
Yeah, right. We were a two-piece. I mean, we still kind of are, but we do have live drummer and bassist, which helps out a lot. But even the first 6 or 7 years of Adamic, it was just us. And if we did play it out live, it was just the two of us. And he would have a mic on him while he was playing drums.
Yeah. Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, like the little headset mic. And yeah.
Wow. How hard is that?
It's not fun.
I would imagine it would be kind of difficult. So you started learning how to play instruments, and then the idea of a band came up. But when did you really think you were serious about it? High school?
Yeah, we were in a screamo band, and we decided we really wanted to make records, and we wanted to see where we could go with music. And I feel like that's around the time where we were like, we really need to give this a lot of our time and attention.
Yeah, our first like real band. I remember the day that we got to the point where we sounded good, like, because we had played for days and days, and we finally like played a song and it sounded right. And I remember literally like not being able to sleep at night because like every time I thought about us playing music and it sounding good, like my heart got all fluttery, like when you have a crush or something. And it was like,
it's incredible.
That's so cute.
And then like we played a couple shows and like some youth group things, and like it was just, I don't know. That's when I was like, I think this is all I want to do, like with my life. I have no other prospects, and yeah,
we were 16, 17 probably.
Okay, so you started out with bands like Disciple, so you had a faith background. So each one of you tell us a little bit about your spiritual journey.
I grew up in a Church of Christ with no music. We only sang out of hymnals.
No instruments.
No instruments at all. It was all voice. And I attended that until about 6th or 7th grade when my grandparents passed away. And then Mom stopped going to church there. And I was just a kid, just kind of floating around, didn't go anywhere. And he invited me to his church, which was literally the polar opposite of that. It was like a independent, charismatic, Pentecostal type church with, full on band, jumping up and down, tambourines, bongos, just the works. And it was culture shock for sure. But then I just fell into that with him.
Yeah.
That was exactly what was in my head, culture shock.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember him coming to church the first time and just, it was so different than what he was used to. But I mean, I was raised in a church like that, and, my family always went to church, and we've come up in that, and I found God for real, I think, when I was probably 12 or 13 years old. And that's when I really kind of got serious about my faith. And yeah, it's just always been, one of the most important things for me. So it's been the driving force behind, every life decision and everything we do, musically and whatever, that's always like the leading factor for me.
When did you start like writing songs?
Well, for me, the first song I ever wrote was called Just Rock. No, I don't know. I don't think it was Just Rock. There was a song after that I came up with a riff for. Knife in the Back. That might be what it is. I can't remember. It's one of those two titles, and it was in that grade school after school program. That was the first song. So like we were playing songs that the teacher kind of helped us come up with and taught to us. But when we started in the band that we kind of got serious about, we started out playing covers. It was Disciple and Pillar, different songs from, that whole group of bands. And then we started writing our own riffs, and came up with a handful of songs at the same time, and slowly filtered out covers to, originals. But yeah, for me, it was that grade school song. It was one of those.
Yeah. I mean, it'd have to be something in grade school for me too. I don't remember what it would be. Like our first real song as a band was Traveler, I think.
Yeah, as Adamic, it was Traveler for sure. Like Adamic never did covers. It was like all about original music.
Yeah.
At some point, you guys learned to play other instruments. What else do y'all play?
Well, I play bass on the recordings and a little bit of keyboard synth stuff here and there. And that was just kind of out of necessity because I went to college for audio recording. And so that's kind of the kickoff of this era with Adamic was I bought some studio equipment, had a laptop running Pro Tools, and we started recording our own demos and stuff. And because it was just the two of us, I started adding in, the bass guitar and the keyboard and different things in the background just to make it sound like a whole band for the recording. So
you kind of just picked them up as you went along.
Yeah, whatever we needed, it was kind of like they'll pick it up and figure it out.
Yeah, because, I mean, we felt like we just could never find anybody that, you know, fit the bill and could also do those things. So we'll just do it. And it was the same thing for vocals with me. Like, I had this, like, distant thought that I might be able to sing. I really don't know. And we could never find a singer for Adamic. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just try. Because we had, like, the record recorded instrumentally. So it was like, well, somebody's got to sing, and I can write lyrics all day, but I don't know if I can sing them. So, I mean, the first record is the first time I ever really tried to sing, and have grown a lot with that since that first record, thankfully. But yeah, it came out of necessity.
Yeah, no, he was not in choir, or no vocal training. Is just learning on the fly.
Now, I'm going to ask this because I've talked to other people who've had the same situation where they've come out from behind the drums to sing. What was that like, coming out from behind the safety of your kit to being a frontman?
Oh, man, it was wild. It was like, I don't even know how I'm going to stand. I don't know if I'm going to have a mic stand and I'm going to, like, just post up there. Am I going to take the mic off the stand and, you know, really get brave with it?
You didn't know what to do with your hands.
Yeah, like, that's the hard part. I don't know what to do with my hands ever. So I just try to get lost in what I'm singing. But, yeah, the first few practices when we found a live drummer for the first time, which was like 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah, it was only about 2021, I think.
Yeah, I was like, all right, you got to be a big boy now. So practice, it was like, because he was watching me the whole time because he wanted to see what I was going to do. And I had a stand for a while, and about 3 songs in, I'm like, all right, I got to do something more than just stand here. So I grabbed the mic, and I was like, oh, this is weird. Like, what do I do with the cable? Do I hold it? You know, how do I maneuver this thing? Every show's different. I literally don't have a method for each show. Like, I don't have a formula for how I perform as a vocalist up there. It's literally get on stage and, like, how awkward do I feel? How anxious am I? What's the room like? What's the crowd like? And how do I, you know, approach that? It's different every time. And it's kind of terrifying, but it's fun, too, once I get settled in.
You were used to that barrier between you and the crowd.
Yeah, exactly. I love being able to hide in my instrument. You know, it's a nice having that.
Tell me something about your touring musicians.
Our main guys that we have whenever we can. We have Joshua Harris on bass, and he's a long, old friend of ours now. Like, we've known him for probably 15 years, and yeah, he's played bass with us since like 2017, I think. So when Ian was still on drums, he was playing bass with us, and I remember the first time we played a show with him, it was just infinitely better, you know, just not having to fill much space with the guitar. Having him there was just huge. And so he's been with us any chance we get. And then our drummer, Andrew Garrett, I've not really played with a whole lot of drummers besides him and Andrew. And somehow Andrew is like a perfect fit. Even though he doesn't play the way Ian does, he still really fits the music really well, and it's just real easy to groove with him. And
yeah, he's prolific. Yeah. Like, he's too hard on himself. He's very, very good. He's the only person that, when we decided we needed to find a live drummer, that I could think of that could actually play the music we'd come up with. And I reached out to him over social media. That's the only way I'd ever known him. And he was down to give it a try and came to a practice after we sent him some, you know, instrumentals to try to pick up on. And the vibes were just perfect from the get-go. He's hilarious and he's a great player. And he's just, I don't know. I don't ever want to replace this dude.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah, we've played with a couple other people down here in Nashville because Josh and Andrew still live in Indiana. So it's a lot harder to get them down here for shows, but it just always feels better when it's them because, you know, they know the music so well and we gel so well together. And yeah.
So those guys were people you already knew there in Indiana when you lived there.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we knew Josh for years, and then we had known of Andrew, like, as a musician because he would post videos on YouTube and stuff. And
yeah, he was the most impressive local drummer I had seen. I was like, I gotta keep an eye on this guy.
Yeah.
Competition.
Well, do you think you'd like to eventually be a 4-piece, or are you just content with where you are right now?
We like the 2-piece thing because we don't bicker. When we write music, we're both on the same page. and all of our music comes from this bond we have, and we just have this similar musical journey. And it's the idea of having anyone else have a lot of input into that it's just hard. Like, I feel like a snob sometimes when I think about it, but I just want to protect it, and I don't know. I mean, I'm open to anything if it's the right thing. But yeah, right now it's just him and I that, come up with the mountain of demos and put the songs together, and we have the same vision for the record and whatnot.
Yeah. We still have like probably 100 demos that we haven't got to. Like, the last record, we recorded songs that were technically 10 years old, almost, because we make cell phone demos of ideas and then just never got around to them. And so we keep coming up with ideas that we probably won't make for another 15 years or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's just so much that just the two of us have made already that it's like...
Yeah, we've got our retirement.
Yeah, you could go the rest of your life, right?
Literally.
Let's talk discography. You did a self-titled album in, 2023? Tell us about that one.
That record was like a huge shift for us. That was the first time we'd ever worked with a producer, which happened to be Andrew Stanton. We did 3 independent records on our own, and self-mixed, had somebody master them, and then we published them ourselves and whatnot. Only one of them is available online currently. It's on our Bandcamp, but this one, the 4th one, the self-titled, kind of marked the rebirth of the band. We had taken a break after the 3rd record, and we had, somehow through Matt Baird, we met Andrew Stanton, and that was the beginning. Yeah, it's something to do with a guitar lesson.
Yeah.
And Andrew Stanton and him connected, and then it turned into, hey, you want to record a song down here? We gave it a whirl, and it turned into, like, we have to do a record this way because it's so much more beyond what we've been able to do on our own. So it was a huge step up for us in terms of production and songwriting. Yeah, that's a very special record for us.
Yeah, you had some number ones on that for some of the radio stations, right?
Yeah. All of a sudden, it hung out at number 1, probably the longest, and then it made it to number 1 as well on a couple stations. Yeah, all of a sudden, that song, I don't even quite know how it did it, but that video's got like 5,000 views, and we didn't pay for any views, I swear. Like,
that's right.
It was just like, that song just exploded, and that was right around the time the record came out. Yeah.
Yes,
that felt really good because we've been grinding for a decade at that point and not really had a lot to show for it. But yeah, with the self-titled record, it was like a new beginning, like he said, for us.
All of a sudden, who's this?
All of a sudden, we were there.
Yeah,
that's right. The EP came out in May.
Yeah,
currently
working on a full album as well.
Yeah, right now we're working on a full record. The EP that just came out, the idea behind that was we wanted to go back and pick 3 old songs from each of our first 3 independent records and redo them with Andrew, make them sound as good as, the self-titled album. And because of a weird rule, apparently EPs can't be 3 tracks. It has to be at least 4. So we threw a brand new song on it called Waving. So basically it's Waving and 3 very old songs that sort of reimagined. And
of the 4 songs in the EP, I like Dark.
Oh yeah.
It's our heaviest release recording ever.
I doubt anyone will be surprised. I like heavy.
That's awesome though.
Anyway, I like that one.
Well, thank you.
My favorite. So that's the Wave EP. Okay, before we talk about the new album, I want to go back a little bit. Being a big Matt Baird fan and Andrew Stanton fan, I want to know more about how he got involved.
I'll give you the story. I'd been friends with Matt for several years, and he would text me every so often, when he was coming through the area, asking if I knew of any shows or whatever. And one day he asked me if I would be interested in taking guitar lessons with JR, who's in Spoken. And yeah, that'd be awesome. I was a big fan of JR, love his playing. And then it turns out he was working on the Love and Death record, and he had no openings for like any lessons. So Matt's like, hey, I'm really sorry. He can't do it. And so I was like, oh, that's cool, man. He goes, would you care if I set you up with lessons with Andrew Stanton instead? And I was like, sure, yeah, that'd be great, you know. I felt like I'd kind of hit a ceiling with my playing, and I was like wanting to kind of be challenged again on guitar stuff. So I started doing lessons with Andrew over Zoom, and I ended up following him on Instagram, and I saw that he had bands over recording at his place that he was producing. And so I just asked him, I was like, hey, you know, what's up with this? You know, can anyone do this? And asked him different questions. He gave us details. And so we were like, hey, like, why don't we just do a song with him? You know, basically take whatever's in the band fund and go down there and record a song. And so we're like, okay, let's do it. And so the kicker was Andrew said, you know, here's how it's done, and then you have to do program drums because he didn't have a drum studio space. And so I told Ian about that, and I knew like that's not gonna fly. Like, I already know that. And so he's like, no, it has to be real drums. I was like, I agree totally. Like, you know, Ian's real drumming is a big part of our sound. And so Andrew came back with, okay, that's fine. We can put you in a drum studio. I could talk to Lester Estelle about renting his place, which Lester Estelle, he plays for Kelly Clarkson. He also played for Pillar, which is one of our favorite bands ever. And I think my jaw like hit the floor on the Zoom call. And I remember like going back to him and be like, you won't believe this, but you're going to record drums at Lester's. And he was there, and he engineered the kit, and yeah, we were just like wide-eyed the whole time, because it was like, you know, getting to meet one of our musical heroes, getting to work with somebody who played in Disciple. We went down there only planning on doing one song, which was Sounds Like a Voice, and then once we heard it back, like completed, we were like,
there's no going back. Like,
we can't do the rest of the record ourselves, not this good. So it literally like just snowballed into, let's make a record, let's make an EP, let's make another record.
Yep, let's move to Nashville.
Okay.
Let's move to Nashville.
Just kind of fell into place for you guys. That is amazing.
Now, tell me everything you can tell me about the new album.
Well, we're actually, after this, we're heading over to Andrew's house to continue working, and we're so close on vocals. There's like 2 songs worth of harmonies left to cut, and then we'll do drums later in the summer. But it's definitely the logical next step from the self-titled record, because now that we know what this new process is like, what it's like to write with a producer and have someone else's input and do drums over at Lester's, you know, like we know the full picture. So we've been able to really lean into the songwriting and the technical aspects of the songs. Like, we just tried to throw all of our ideas at the wall. We picked the very best of what we had in the demos, or what we think are the very best currently. And, you know, we're putting together a much more cohesive record. Because like the last one, it started out as an EP, and then we added 4 songs much later to make it a full record. But this one has been envisioned as a record from the beginning. And like I said, it's cohesive is the word for sure. But I just feel like there's a lot with having Andrew involved with the writing from the beginning. We've chopped out a lot of fat out of these songs, because him and I are kind of long-winded when we do demos. Like, we really just, you know, try to get everything out in the fullest. But yeah, he's just helped kind of refine it and help find something memorable to put in every song. It's a better record.
There's a very loose concept. It's not a concept record, but there's like a little bit of a storyline to it. And like he said, having worked with Andrew already, we like knew the demo process. All of our demos were way better this time. We had way more ideas for things, and we started it about 6 months ago, probably.
Yeah.
And Andrew said, like, all right, like, let's just take our time with this one. You know, we're not in any rush. Like, let's just make sure we make it as good as possible. Feels like the blink of an eye, like it's already done. And we didn't rush anything. You know, we've been just working steady at it and trying to make it as good as we can make it. And now it's like almost the home stretch. So yeah, we're very, very excited to put this one out.
That's amazing. What kind of a timeline do you have on it? Do you know?
We have a loose idea. I would love to tell you that you could listen to the full record sometime next summer. That's the goal. We're going to do drums this August, so here in less than a month we're going there to do the drums. And then I'm not sure how it'll unfold from there. But yeah, the goal would, in a perfect world, we would have it to everyone next summer, but we will see.
Yeah, it's a summertime record, so it would be really nice to have it like out for that.
Nice. Where can they find you?
You can find us on Instagram is like where we live the most. So Instagram, our handle is Adamic Official. I'm on there, Ian_Swaby, and then he is on there as Sound Jordan. We have a Facebook page for Adamic. It should just be called Adamic, but when in doubt on a social media platform, just search Adamic Official. We're also on Threads. I think we're on Twitter. I'm not a Twitter guy.
Yeah, we're on Twitter. We're on TikTok, YouTube channel. We throw a lot of things up on our YouTube channel. We're going to have like some behind the songs videos that we're going to be posting here in another month or so. So yeah, follow our YouTube channel and you'll see a bunch of extra recording footage and little blogs, things like that.
What's the latest video that's come out?
Traveler was the last music video we put out. So we went back and went into the archives and found footage from back in 2013 when the first year of the band, basically. And we filmed everything. Like, we filmed ourselves recording in the studio, jamming, and just basically had hours of stuff we had never used for anything. And so, since Traveler was our very first song we put out years and years ago, we decided to make like a home movie of all these videos from that time. And within that video, there's a video of us jamming the song back in 2013 when we were, like 20 years old or whatever. But yeah, that was the official music video for that song.
What have you got coming up?
We've got a show in Terre Haute on August 9th with a band called Ice Howl, who are friends of ours. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
This has been great. I love to listen to people's stories and see how they got to where they are. And I love it when I see established musicians take new bands under their wing and make them feel comfortable in this space.
Then y'all pass it on to somebody else, as you go. So it's just fun to watch.
Yeah, it's all about relationships. If you know the right person who's willing to help, it makes all the difference in the world.
I love it. Changes lives one by one by one.
Yep.
Well, you guys have a great night, and I will hopefully see you out on the road at some point.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Take care, Cindy.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more great music. And don't forget to check out my blog page on the Solid Rock Radio website for my guests' official social media links. And hey, did you know you can listen to all Backstage with Mothership interviews on your phone through the Solid Rock Radio app or on all major podcast platforms? Back episodes are also available on YouTube and TikTok. Have a wonderful week, and let's be kind to one another.